What do you think about when you're running the mile? Do you think about colors, shapes, sizes, or do you just think about colors? Because I think you do. Anyway, Sonic the Hedgehog. He's been in our lives for about 20 years and we haven't noticed how awesome he is. Well, considering that other shows have degraded him. But Sonic X was one of the older ones. It's a Japanese version that everybody knows and loves. But when you think about all the other stuff like Sonic Generation, Sonic 06, Sonic, you just think about it and it's like, no, they destroyed it. So when you look up on the internet, it's like, oh, I want to look up the Japanese version. You look it up and it's either asking you to pay or they can't find it. Makes you want to break something. Maybe your head, your computer. Don't do that, it's not very safe. But you keep your neighbors up till daytime. And it's like, but your friends complain about it all the time. They're like, hey, you should have been in my house. Why don't you come over today? And you're like, yay! So you show up at this friend's house and you're like, oh, dressed to impress, just like Amy Rose. That kind of thing. But, you realize that real life is just like the Sonic stuff. Like you end up going to a friend's house and they don't have pizza. You end up explaining to a friend, hey, I can go and get this for you for a treat of this. Stuff like that happens in real life. But we don't realize it. But when you ask your friends for money, that's Rouge and Knuckles for you. But they're not really a happy couple like these two are. And when you're sending somebody off with money, that's kind of like Shadow and Amy. But when you have somebody that thinks more about themselves, or just you and them, that's more of a Shadow personality, I think. But when you're watching a movie and stuff, you don't realize that there's Shanado, Shadami, heck, even Rouge and Knuckles have a thing for each other. But when you tell your friends, stuff can get altered. You're like pretending that other people are your characters. Like mom can be somebody, dad can be somebody, your boss can be somebody. But when you're up on the internet and you're like, oh hey, what's up? And you give somebody a pet peeve name, you end up going to one of their sites and they block you saying, hey, you can't watch this, you have to pay me back. And you get really frustrated. I'm really frustrated. So you go and call them and they're like, you need to pay me money, you need to pay me money, you need to pay me money, stuff like that. When you think of a way to alter that, you're like, hey, what if I just go to the comic store? I mean, they have a bunch of stuff there, right? So getting back to the Sonic thing, Sonic has been around for about 20 years or so, something like that, probably before you and me. But when you think about it, Sonic has led to the creation of Shadow, and Shadow led to the creation of Knuckles, and so forth and so on, and blah blah blah, stuff like that. But when you're thinking about all the other stuff, like the OCs and stuff like that, you just want to get that out of your head. You're like, hey, I want to deal with the original. But just thinking about it, my favorite character is Shadow, no doubt. I don't care what other people say, just, he's awesome. Well, that's the end of that. Thank you guys for watching, and let us know what you want to watch next. Hope you had a great day. Bye!
created using Powtoon.